Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Aquarius Rising. Saturn and Mercury in the fifth house, Gemini, support analytical creativity, disciplined learning, and intellectual expression. Saturn, the Lagna Lord, finds Gemini to be fifth from its MT Aquarius first house, making this a dharmic placement that blends structure with intelligence. For Mercury, Gemini is 10th from its MT Virgo, 8th house, channeling skill into professional communication. Though this yoga favors writing, law, or systems design, the native often experiences creative restraint or delays in expressing joy freely. Intelligence becomes goal-driven, and emotions are intellectualized rather than felt. Sun and Venus in the second house, Pisces, suggest a charming, expressive personality with refined speech and aesthetic wealth. For Sun, Pisces is 8th from its MT Leo, 7th house, which can compromise self-confidence or challenge financial stability through ego entanglements. For Venus, Pisces is 6th from its MT Libra, 9th house, making it exalted yet karmically involved in sacrificial or service-based love. While the native can be attractive and expressive, the deeper results show emotional imbalance in family life or idealized, sometimes one-sided relationships. Mars and Jupiter in the ninth house, Libra, combine ambition with moral frameworks supporting teachers, activists, or dharma-enforcing roles. Libra is 7th from Mars's MT Aries third house, encouraging action through relational or public dynamics, sometimes diluting individual drive. For Jupiter, Libra is 11th from its MT Sagittarius, 11th house, emphasizing social ethics and community education. This yoga brings political or educational leadership potential, but may cause the native to struggle with reconciling independent will versus collective fairness. Overcommitment to causes or partners can delay personal fulfillment. Moon and Ketu in the sixth house, Cancer, create a karmic loop of emotional burden and hidden service. Cancer is 3rd from Moon's MT Taurus, 4th house, intensifying expression but disrupting peace. For Ketu, Cancer is 6th from its MT Capricorn, 12th house, pulling spiritual detachment into conflict zones. The yoga often manifests as unexpressed family trauma, unconscious caregiving patterns, or detachment from maternal roots. Though emotionally intelligent, the native may retreat into solitude or serve others quietly, often without receiving equal nurturing. Mercury and Rahu in the 4th house, Taurus, blend intellectual hunger with unconventional emotional roots. Taurus is 9th from Mercury's MT Virgo, 8th house, stimulating dharmic thought and abstract learning. Rahu's amplification here creates mental restlessness and eccentricity in education, property matters, or emotional boundaries. The yoga favors marketing, media, or tech-based careers that emerge from non-traditional backgrounds. However, emotional security is often a moving target, with early instability driving overachievement or misplaced logic in personal matters. Saturn and Moon in the 8th house, Virgo, combine deep emotional endurance with karmic heaviness. Virgo is 5th from Moon's MT Taurus, 4th house, encouraging expression through refined emotional intelligence, though filtered through criticism. For Saturn, Virgo is 8th from its MT Aquarius, 1st house, pushing karma into secrecy, repression, and long-term emotional burden. This yoga produces healers, psychologists, or administrators who carry heavy family or societal obligations. Trust and openness are developed late in life, often after transformative hardships. Sun and Mars in the 10th house, Scorpio, project authority and ambition into career life. Scorpio is 4th from Sun's MT Leo, 7th house, enabling the native to work behind the scenes with strategic power. For Mars, Scorpio is 8th from its MT Aries, 3rd house, placing its drive into karmic transformation rather than direct conquest. The yoga grants leadership through adversity, common in security forces, surgery, or investigative work, but inner peace may be disturbed. The native thrives in high-pressure roles, but carries deep-seated emotional control patterns. Jupiter and Venus in the 1st house, Aquarius, produce a philosophical, sociable, and balanced personality. Venus sees Aquarius as 5th from its MT Libra, 9th house, promoting creative dharma. Jupiter sees Aquarius as 3rd from its MT Sagittarius, 11th house, where its wisdom becomes communicative but effort-bound. The result is an elegant reformer, someone who guides through ideas, design, or social justice, but struggles to rest. Identity is tied to ideals, and the challenge lies in grounding beliefs into practical, sustainable self-worth. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Aquarius Rising continued. Saturn in Aries, 11th from MT Aquarius plus Mercury. Saturn debilitated in Aries is 11th from its own MT Aquarius, which, despite debility, enables fulfillment of material ambitions over time. Aries adds restlessness, but Saturn's long game approach survives through disciplined persistence. When Mercury joins, Aries is 8th from its MT Virgo. Intellectual processes become intense and transformative. Mercury loses finesse but gains probing insight. Saturn gains assertive momentum. This pairing often yields strategists or engineers of complex systems, people who direct institutions, logistics, or data infrastructures through sheer effort, despite inner friction. Ketu in Virgo, 9th from MT Capricorn Venus. Ketu in Virgo sits 9th from its MT Capricorn, a trinal position that supports spiritualized intelligence. Virgo's obsession with order clashes with Ketu's boundarylessness, yet this contradiction yields inner clarity. If Venus joins, Virgo is 12th from its MT Libra, the yoga becomes a tapas of love and art, where refinement emerges from restraint. Venus loses indulgence, Ketu surrenders form. Perfect for devotional artists, metaphysical healers, or spiritual designers, this pairing produces beauty stripped of ego, grace as a path of service. Mars in Cancer, 4th from MT Aries Jupiter. Mars debilitated in Cancer lies 4th from its MT Aries, grounding drive in emotional or domestic territory. This Kendra position ensures that despite Mars's weakened boldness, its core purpose to protect remains. When Jupiter joins, Cancer is 8th from MT Sagittarius. The combination becomes one of compassionate strength. Jupiter loses directness but gains psychic depth. Mars becomes a guardian of values. The native may be called to restore family legacy, rebuild cultural roots, or protect dharma within community structures, quietly but powerfully. Rahu in Sagittarius, 6th from MT Cancer Sun. Rahu debilitated in Sagittarius is 6th from its MT Cancer, which propels the native into karmic service, especially through ideology or education. When Sun joins, Sagittarius is 5th from its MT Leo. The authority of ego merges with karmic ambition. Rahu disrupts, the Sun stabilizes. Together they produce passionate reformers, fiery public figures who challenge dogma in religious, political, or educational arenas. The drive to serve society is strong, though often controversial. Fame may come, but it's tied to ideological confrontation. Moon in Scorpio, 7th from MT Taurus Mercury. Moon debilitated in Scorpio is 7th from its MT Taurus, placing emotional regulation in the realm of interpersonal dynamics. If Mercury joins, Scorpio is 8th from MT Virgo. Both planets become karmically pressurized, drawing out latent insight. Though Moon struggles with instability and Mercury with clarity, together they produce sharp perception. This yoga suits trauma-informed communicators, spiritual counselors, or literary analysts, those who understand others by decoding silence and reading emotional subtext like a second language. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from MT Sagittarius plus Saturn. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from its MT Sagittarius, lends grounded expression to values and speech. Jupiter loses joy but gains enduring credibility. When Saturn joins, Capricorn is 12th from its MT Aquarius. The combination becomes serious, methodical, and karmically burdened. These are the mentors, judges, or institutional thinkers who weigh words with responsibility. Jupiter speaks through structure. Saturn acts through legacy. The yoga favors administrative wisdom, especially in law, ethics, or tradition-preserving vocations that benefit society's long-term evolution. Mercury in Pisces, 12th from MT Virgo Venus. Mercury debilitated in Pisces is 12th from its MT Virgo, operating more on intuitive than rational grounds. Venus, exalted here in 6th from MT Libra, elevates Mercury's emotive side while sacrificing its clarity. This conjunction excels in poetic, musical, or devotional communication, those who touch hearts more than minds. The yoga may seem weak on paper, but is deeply felt by those it reaches. It supports mystics, artists, and soul guides whose creations move through beauty, not analytics. Sun in Libra, 3rd from MT Leo plus Ketu. Sun debilitated in Libra lies 3rd from its MT Leo, diminishing its assertiveness but placing it in a house of effort and messaging. Ketu in Libra, 10th from its MT Capricorn, adds dispassion to public action. Together, this pairing reflects quiet leadership, where ego is subdued but action continues. These are the humble strategists, silent visionaries, or ethical advisors whose influence is unmistakable but never boastful. They work through karmic duty, not personal recognition, shaping outcomes from the background rather than the spotlight. Planets. The Mulatrikona explained, Gemini rising. Jupiter and Mars in the 7th house, Sagittarius, can form a powerful dharma-karma pairing. Jupiter brings wisdom, and Mars adds decisive action in partnerships and public dealings. However, Sagittarius is the Mulatrikona sign of Jupiter, 7th from ascendant, so it operates from its core. Yet for Mars, this house is 9th from its MT in Aries, 11th house, pushing Mars into a moral duty zone rather than raw initiative. The result is a partner-driven karma, where Mars's fire is moderated by Jupiter's ethics, sometimes leading to frustration when individual drive is diluted by moral complexity or legal frameworks. Sun and Mercury in the 3rd house, Leo, appear to form Buddha Aditya Yoga, a combination for intelligence, communication, and success through siblings or short journeys. While Leo is the MT sign of the Sun, 3rd from Gemini, placing it in a desire-driven, effort-oriented house causes ego expression to become competitive and sometimes overly assertive. For Mercury, Leo is 12th from its MT Virgo, 4th house, which can lead to inner insecurity or overcompensation through loud expression. The yoga may yield strong writers or debaters, but with an underlying need to prove themselves due to subtle inner instability. Venus and Saturn in the 8th house, Capricorn, may suggest stability and responsibility in matters of longevity, transformation, and joint resources. Saturn is in its MT sign here, so it's grounded in karmic realism. For Venus, Capricorn is 10th from its MT Libra, 5th house, seeming to activate a career-oriented aspect of love and aesthetics. However, the 8th house nature makes these themes hidden or slow to manifest. Relationships can become transactions. Beauty is tempered by utility. This combination may produce mature artists, accountants, or counselors, but emotional warmth is often subdued. Moon and Ketu in the 4th house, Virgo, give a blend of emotional depth and detachment. Virgo is 5th from Moon's MT in Taurus, 12th house, which energizes maternal instincts, but in a critical, duty-bound way. For Ketu, Virgo is 10th from its MT Capricorn, 8th house, placing Ketu in a karma executing position, but filtered through logic and perfectionism. The emotional landscape becomes analytical and inward, producing stoic, insightful individuals who may have experienced early detachment from family or home. The public may perceive calm. Inwardly, these natives often struggle to relax emotionally. Mars and Venus in the 10th house, Pisces, suggest career passion, aesthetic action, and visibility. But Pisces is 12th from Mars's MT Aries, 11th house, creating misdirected energy, often leading to burnout or sacrificing ambition for ideals. For Venus, Pisces is 6th from its MT Libra, 5th house, technically its exaltation, yet functionally it brings relational friction and love sacrificed for service. Despite the career visibility, this yoga may frustrate the individual's personal goals in exchange for serving others or living up to projected ideals. Jupiter and Saturn in the 2nd house, Cancer, combine wisdom and discipline in speech, finance, and family matters. But Cancer is 8th from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius 7th house, activating hidden influences and unpredictable wealth patterns. For Saturn, Cancer is 8th from its MT Aquarius, 9th house, doubling the intensity of karmic obstacles. While the native may appear morally upright and value-oriented, the path to financial security or family harmony is fraught with emotional struggle and generational burdens. The yoga results in wise yet cautious voices, often advisors or traditionalists with deep past life entanglements. Sun and Moon in the 9th house, Aquarius, typically denote strong father-guru influence and a philosophical path that unites rationality, Sun, and emotion, Moon. However, from Sun's MT Leo, 3rd house, Aquarius is the 7th, making ego depend on public approval or authority via others. From Moon's MT Taurus, 12th house, Aquarius is 10th, linking emotion to karma and status, but with potential emotional suppression. The yoga tends to produce socially active individuals with noble goals, but internal emotional detachment. These natives may lead reform, but often feel unacknowledged or spiritually isolated. Mercury and Jupiter in the 1st house, Gemini, is a classic Dhimati yoga, enhancing intelligence, expression, and spiritual inclination. Mercury is in its own sign, but not its MT, which is Virgo in fourth house, so while confident, it is not operating from its deepest strength. For Jupiter, Gemini is seventh from its MT Sagittarius, seventh house, which forces it into compromise, intellectual debate, and sometimes moral relativism. The yoga becomes more versatile than stable, good for diplomacy and negotiation, but lacking in firm conviction unless anchored by other chart factors. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Gemini rising continued. Saturn in Aries, 11th from MT Aquarius plus Mercury. Saturn debilitated in Aries is the 11th from its Mulatrikona Aquarius, a house of gains and ambition. Though Saturn loses patience in Aries, the 11th from MT placement supports karmic fulfillment. When joined by Mercury, which finds Aries 8th from its MT Virgo, this becomes a challenging yet productive yoga. Saturn adds perseverance, Mercury struggles with clarity but gains depth. The result is a karmic communicator, one who earns success through trial, often in fields like data architecture, policymaking, or technical design. Saturn stabilizes long-term vision. Mercury infuses clever articulation, albeit under stress. Ketu in Virgo, 9th from MT Capricorn Venus. Ketu, debilitated in Virgo, sits 9th from its MT Capricorn, activating trinal dharmic karma. If Venus joins, debilitated in Virgo, and 12th from its MT Libra, the conjunction becomes one of spiritualized artistry. Though both are debilitated, the 9th from MT position for Ketu offers elevated insight and detachment from worldly aesthetics. Venus expresses through sacrificial beauty, Ketu strips ego. This yoga suits minimalistic creatives, mystic healers, or those who merge aesthetics with deeper philosophical purpose. It leads to devotion without dependence and art without attachment. Mars in Cancer, 4th from MT Aries Jupiter. Mars in Cancer is 4th from its MT Aries, a Kendra that deals with emotion, roots, and home. Debilitated Mars becomes protective, but cautious. If Jupiter joins, Cancer is 8th from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius. Both planets operate in zones of vulnerability. The pairing produces guardians, educators, or emotional strategists. While Mars channels its aggression into nurturing defense, Jupiter softens into therapeutic guidance. The yoga is powerful in domestic architecture, caregiving professions, or socially conscious leadership that grows from private pain. Rahu in Sagittarius, 6th from MT Cancer Sun. Rahu in Sagittarius, considered debilitated, is 6th from its MT Cancer, a house of adversity, service, and karmic resolution. When Sun joins, and Sagittarius is 5th from Sun's MT Leo. Sun acts with creative dharma and Rahu disrupts orthodox belief. This pairing often creates charismatic reformers, critics of religious institutions, or foreign policy influencers. The Sun lends authority. Rahu challenges boundaries. From empty context, Sun thrives, Rahu agitates, and the native becomes a force of philosophical reconstruction, especially in legal, political, or academic reform. Moon in Scorpio, 7th from MT Taurus plus Mercury. Moon debilitated in Scorpio is from its MT Taurus, reflecting emotion through others, often with intensity. If Mercury conjoins and Scorpio is 8th from Mercury's MT Virgo, this becomes a yoga of subtle psychological prowess. Moon feels deeply, Mercury decodes it. Though both function in hidden or emotionally charged realms, the combination yields therapists, spies, and analysts. Their strength lies not in public brilliance but private mastery, guiding others through trauma, financial crisis, or emotional chaos with a cool, probing mind. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from MT Sagittarius plus Saturn. Jupiter debilitated in Capricorn lies 2nd from its MT Sagittarius, governing wealth, speech, and values. When Saturn joins, Capricorn is 12th from Saturn's MT Aquarius. Both planets operate with austerity. Yet, Jupiter's 2nd from MT position allows it to hold to principled expression. Saturn adds realism and restraint. This yoga creates responsible thinkers, sober mentors, or lawful guides who speak little but impact deeply. Common among judges, reformists, or institutional builders, this pairing ensures karmic wealth, more moral than material. Mercury in Pisces, 12th from MT Virgo's Venus. Mercury debilitated in Pisces sits 12th from its MT Virgo, indicating intuitive rather than analytical function. If Venus, exalted here, joins Pisces is 6th from Venus's MT Libra, both planets serve creatively under pressure. Though Venus is strong, its position demands service and humility. This yoga is potent for musicians, poets, or spiritual communicators who work behind the scenes. Speech becomes art, thought becomes emotion, and beauty is expressed through surrender. Though not commercially aggressive, the pairing holds immense soft power. Sun in Libra, third from MT Leo Keep. Sun debilitated in Libra lies third from its MT Leo, a house of initiative and self-assertion. If Ketu joins, Libra is 10th from Ketu's MT Capricorn. This becomes a yoga of invisible influence. The Sun's ego is humbled, and Ketu removes desire for recognition. Yet the 10th from MT placement allows Ketu to execute duty without attachment. This yoga creates ethical warriors, truth-sayers, or reclusive administrators. Their power is quiet but undeniable, rooted in karmic maturity and the ability to lead without demanding credit. Planets. The Mulatrikona explained, Libra Rising. Venus and Mars in the 4th house, Capricorn, suggest drive, passion, and artistic refinement directed into the home, emotional life, or homeland-based responsibilities. Venus's Mulatrikona is Libra, 1st house, and Capricorn lies 4th from it, activating comfort and stability, but with pressure to perform emotionally. For Mars, Capricorn is 10th from its MT Aries 7th house, giving ambition but through partnerships or societal expectations. This yoga often leads to dynamic interior lives or real estate success, yet emotionally feels like work rather than fulfillment. Love and home become duty-bound zones. Moon and Jupiter in the 8th house, Taurus, create a spiritual, emotionally generous combination. Moon is in its MT sign here, offering grounded emotional strength. However, Taurus is 6th from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius, 3rd house, placing Jupiter's dharma into zones of struggle and karmic repayment. Despite the Gajakasari undertone, the combination manifests as deep inner faith but external challenges. The native may serve through healing, astrology, or transformative counseling, but will often struggle to convert wisdom into social acceptance or financial gain. Sun and Mercury in the 6th house, Pisces, indicate success through service, problem-solving, and spiritual-minded work environments. Pisces is 8th from Sun's MT Leo, 11th house, causing ego fatigue, health setbacks, or detachment from father figures or authority roles. For Mercury, Pisces is 7th from its MT Virgo, 12th house, often creating dependency on others for clarity and support in thought processes. Though the combination can produce healers or poets, it also fosters internal doubt, escapism, or power loss in institutional contexts. Saturn and Venus in the 5th house, Aquarius, appear promising for disciplined creativity, romantic realism, and karmic refinement of desires. Saturn is in its MT sign here, giving it stability and direction, especially in intellectual pursuits. For Venus, Aquarius is 5th from its MT Libra, 1st house, supporting creative output with structured elegance. However, romantic matters may be delayed or made conditional, and children or art can become burdens rather than joys. The yoga often produces reformers, strategists, or humanitarians who sacrifice personal pleasure for collective innovation. Mars and Ketu in the 3rd house, Sagittarius, suggest fiery initiative and spiritual detachment through communication, travel, or competition. Sagittarius is 9th from Mars's MT Aries 7th house, which channels assertive energy into dharma, often in conflict with authority. For Ketu, Sagittarius is 9th from its MT Capricorn 4th house, emphasizing past life religious affiliations or detachment from dogma. The native may be a seeker, warrior philosopher, or writer with razor-sharp articulation but little tolerance for social pretense. The yoga grants bravery but creates distance from emotional intimacy. Moon and Saturn in the 12th house, Virgo, present a difficult emotional reality. Moon seeks comfort, Saturn imposes austerity. From Moon's MT Taurus, 8th house, Virgo is 5th, creative but laced with emotional caution. Saturn views Virgo as 8th from its MT Aquarius 5th house, enhancing karmic load and detachment. This pairing often results in deep psychological insight, chronic loneliness, or early detachment from mother. The yoga creates quiet servers, mental health professionals, or institutional caretakers whose strength is built on private suffering. Jupiter and Mercury in the 10th house, Cancer, can bring strong intellect and ethical clarity into public life. From Jupiter's MT Sagittarius 3rd house, Cancer is 8th, so expansion happens through secrecy or crisis resolution. For Mercury, Cancer is 11th from MT Virgo, 12th house, which supports income via communication or teaching, but often in emotionally demanding contexts. The yoga builds careers in education, counseling, or institutional leadership, but the individual may wrestle with fluctuating public opinion, emotional bias and judgment, or work-life imbalance. Sun and Rahu in the 11th house, Leo, seem extremely potent for visibility, recognition, and gains. Leo is Sun's MT sign, giving full dignity to personal radiance and authority. However, Rahu exaggerates this energy and Leo is 11th from Libra, placing the Sun in a profit-seeking house that magnifies ego attachment. Rahu's influence may skew motives or generate obsession with fame, peer validation, or social dominance. While gains come rapidly, the path may lack inner fulfillment. The yoga produces influencers, political climbers, or performers who must learn humility through inflated expectations. Planets, the Mulatrikona explained, Libra rising. Saturn in Aries, 11th from MT Aquarius plus Mercury. Saturn debilitated in Aries stands 11th from its Mulatrikona Aquarius, placing it in the domain of karmic gains and ambition. While Aries inflames Saturn's rigidity, this positional relationship allows Saturn to fulfill long-term material objectives. If Mercury joins, Aries is 8th from its MT Virgo, the conjunction becomes a pressure point. Mercury struggles with clarity under Mars's impulsiveness, while Saturn delays expression. Yet from their respective MT angles, Saturn delivers structured results and Mercury develops transformative speech, ideal for crisis communication, fiscal discipline, or policy strategists working through volatility. Ketu in Virgo, 9th from MT Capricorn Venus. Ketu debilitated in Virgo lies 9th from its MT Capricorn, aligning with dharma and philosophical unfolding. Though Virgo's detail-oriented energy frustrates Ketu's abstraction, the 9th from MT placement grants spiritual insight and intuitive mastery of sacred order. If Venus, also debilitated here and 12th from its MT Libra joins, the yoga merges refined artistic service with spiritual detachment. Despite textbook debility, the trinal distance from Ketu's MT enables karmic artistry. The pairing may show in spiritual poets, metaphysical designers, or karmically artistic souls who aestheticize austerity. Mars in Cancer, 4th from MT Aries plus Jupiter. Mars in Cancer is debilitated and sits 4th from its MT Aries, rooting its kinetic power into domestic or emotional action. Though fiery Mars is uncomfortable in watery Cancer, the Kendra from MT supports visible karmic expression. When Jupiter joins, Cancer is 8th from Jupiter's MT Sagittarius, the yoga turns toward emotional resilience and philosophical rebuilding. Mars acts to protect, Jupiter expands through inner transformation. This yoga suits community leaders, home-based educators, or those guiding others through emotional upheaval with grounded strength. Rahu in Sagittarius, 6th from MT Cancer Sun. Rahu in Sagittarius is 6th from its MT Cancer, anchoring it in service, conflict, and karmic labor. Though this is a challenging position, it can generate sharp ambition and reformist courage. If Sun joins, Sagittarius is 5th from its MT Leo. The yoga pushes ego into dharmic creativity, while Rahu presses for ideological disruption. Sun glows through righteousness, Rahu twists convention. The result is an activist leader, fiery, expressive, but unpredictable, driven to serve truth through non-traditional paths, especially in law, education, or international platforms. Moon in Scorpio, 7th from MT Taurus plus Mercury. Moon debilitated in Scorpio lies 7th from its MT Taurus, focusing its emotional needs on others. If Mercury joins, Scorpio is 8th from Mercury's MT Virgo. The emotional intellect is challenged but refined. Moon feels deeply but reacts defensively. Mercury analyzes but mistrusts. The combination creates sharp intuitive intelligence, well-suited to trauma therapy, negotiation, or occult communication. Though public-facing expression may feel strained, their depth becomes a silent force, ideal for those in high-stakes interpersonal roles. Jupiter in Capricorn, 2nd from MT Sagittarius Saturn. Jupiter in Capricorn lies 2nd from its MT Sagittarius, enabling karmic speech, wealth, and value transmission despite being debilitated. If Saturn joins, Capricorn is 12th from its MT Aquarius. The pairing becomes restrained but morally disciplined. Jupiter offers lawful insight. Saturn enforces through silent resilience. From MT context, Jupiter's proximity preserves the transmission of knowledge, and Saturn's suppression channels it into structured legacy building. Common in policymakers, religious guides, and long-term mentors who grow into wisdom through renunciation and maturity. Mercury in Pisces, 12th from MT Virgo's Venus. Mercury debilitated in Pisces lies 12th from its MT Virgo, a position of loss, dream thinking, and abstract cognition. If Venus, exalted in Pisces and 6th from its MT Libra, joins, the pairing gains aesthetic fluidity but remains karmically strained. Mercury struggles to verbalize clearly, Venus sacrifices comfort for devotional expression. This yoga is potent in ethereal creative fields, visionary art, healing poetry, intuitive design. Both planets act from pressured positions, yet together offer refined compassion through surrendered brilliance, often through spiritual or therapeutic service. Sun in Libra, 3rd from MT Leo, Ketu. Sun debilitated in Libra lies 3rd from its MT Leo, a house of self-driven effort and expression. The Sun's authority is muted here, while Ketu, placed in Libra, 10th from its MT Capricorn, magnifies detachment in karma. Together, they create a yoga of action without ego, where identity is minimized and execution becomes humble yet impactful. The person may act in public space but prefer anonymity, operating through quiet influence. Ideal for ethical reformers, shadow leaders, or creatives who channel power without seeking spotlight.